Wade Buck, Boba Fett, General Otto, Tia and Gia, Aura Singh, Quagga, Tonto Screech, Puggus, Witten.
Que bueno, mi personas. Welcome to an all-new CUjO Fett, your semi-weekly, culture-friendly conversation with friends, foes, and sometimes solo. And of course, folks, just simple folks just trying to make their way in this universe, you know. Coming here from my very well-lit apartment building common area here in Colorado Springs. So if folks come through, we're just going to call it good luck. Of course, I'm drinking Bing, guys. Cheers. In this age of marketing yourself and constantly being networking, etc., which I enjoy, or else I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah, of course, I want to rep local. Bing, all juice, all natural juice, energy drink, bottled here in Colorado. Enough of that. Let's get to some Fett. How you folks doing tonight? Wherever you're coming in, welcome. My name is CUjO. And about 5 weeks ago, I wanted to do it for a while, but you know how it is with Headspace, etc. And I'm going to try and pay attention to comments. So if you're in here, of course, they gone. I'm always going to recognize folks that are there from day one. That's they gone. I see him as an individual. Appreciate you, brother. That gets it. Much like myself, are we the best in the game? Nope. Not always, but we get the job done. We may not be on time, but we're here when you need us. You feel me? Good to see you, brother. And if you come in, say hello, and I'll try and pay attention to that. I was turning over this week like, why do something live? Why do a stream? Of course, it's less editing, which is a glorious thing in this age of platforms. But more than that, it's just a couple folks sharing a room, talking some shared culture, some of it popular, some of it unpopular. You know what I'm talking about. But in this case, able to talk a little bit of Boba Fett. There's plenty of Star Wars material to chop up. I'm not one to pick it apart. I think there's enough folks doing that. So usually I'm just going to turn up. Sometimes it's going to be spontaneous. And tonight, unless somebody sends me an email and I can send them an invite, I'll talk some Fett, some old Fett, some new Fett. What does it mean when I'm talking Fett? But without further ado, let's not waste any more time. First couple weeks, I've been talking about the good parts of the book of Boba Fett, the good chapters, the good characters, the good actors. Of course, last Fett, I did talk a little. And cheers to Scad out there, wherever you are. You're always welcome. CUjO Fett is for you, Scad. Why shouldn't Fett's crew be style over substance? You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I think I didn't really kind of cut any video up this week or anything like that. But I was thinking about what I've read in the tweets or in the X's about what people have enjoyed. Seems to be a tale of 2 or 3 cities, but the first chapter is interesting, and I think it's relevant, and that's what Star Wars should be. The book of Boba Fett starts with him crawling out of the sand to Patton Oswalt's Parks and Rec dialogue. That's what they cut that to. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I don't feel it's a parody. Patton Oswalt's a real fan, or else he wouldn't have said that. But Fett loses everything from the start. No ship, no armor. You know how it goes. And just that whole evolution of humanizing the Sand People, we've encountered them a lot along the way. Of course, the first opening where they're attacking Luke, um, and they seem larger than life, really. And then along the way, they're fodder in video games. Um, and nobody's forgetting Hor from Masters of the Terrascasi. A He had one of those sticks that he would wield. He was formidable in his element. But no, I think it started with the Mandalorian, and then the Book of Boba Fett. You start to see that the Sand People are folks that live by sustainable means, um, folks that live off the earth. Uh, so I think that's interesting. I think it's an interesting contrast, and it makes Fett not just a suit of armor. I think that's why Cad Bane could not see him, very clearly down the stretch. He's like, "Who are you? This is not the Boba Fett I know." Well, of course it's not. Cad Bane didn't get swallowed up by a ground slug, a sarlacc. It can change somebody. Um, Enough metaphor. I was thinking, if I'm going to ask people to join me, the dozens or hundreds or thousands of folks that will catch this in the future, what would I like to talk right now? Boba Fett wise? I haven't talked the Dark Horse comics in a while. That's kind of my wheelhouse. I enjoy the artists. I enjoy the portrayal of Fett for the most part. But if anybody just got done reading Shadows or Twin Engines of Destruction is never out of fashion, I'm here for that. I'm here for new Fett. And when you're digging into fiction, we live in an age of avatars. Fett's my avatar in this journey. So I think that when you're looking at characters, you have to consider the portrayal, who's portraying them, who's writing them. But beyond that, like when the creators are louder than fiction and community has to pick sides, doesn't have to, can disengage. It's interesting. I don't know if there's any Tron fans out there, and it probably won't hit till it does. But the character of who's the older? I'm gonna kill myself with this reference, but says the only way to win is to not play. That's the father talking to the son. It's an older generation saying, "You know what? I'm out. I'm out." And the son says, "No, chaos. Chaos is the play." When you see a community, it doesn't have to be Star Wars. Culture war finds us everywhere. I think it's important to remember what keeps folks together. Is it the creatives that people kind of attach to? Are they larger than life, or is it ultimately the fiction? And if the fiction is shoved to the side, do we lose what brings us together? These are deep cut themes, guys. I didn't mean to go this deep on CUjO Fett, but I think that's why Fett's interesting, and that's why I extend a welcome. What I'm seeing now, you folks are probably like, "Who's this cat talking in his common room?" By the way, before it gets away from me, you already know I'm in the Boba Fett fan club. Niche? I don't know. I don't think so. Let me pull up that banner, and for good reason. I'm actually doing kind of a life blog in the creative threads or the creative boards on bobafett.com. And I think what you'll find in there is just a journal of doing a live stream when it's not intuitive to your nature. Reaching out, building community either locally or internationally, and how a relative introvert, somebody who doesn't turn up naturally, how it's going, how culture responds to it. But you can find that there. Of course, I'll link it down below. But yeah, I wanted to take a Fett journey. I know that Star Wars community is on the rocks right now, and I have reached out to folks. I'm a wild card too, but I think that time and place, you have to look at what brings folks together, and I think that's what I'm feeling. Talking some casual Fett chat, talking some life, talking some book of CUjO, hmm Yeah, they gone with some pearls, of course. Zeitgeist seems to be unstable these days. Oh, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. As a creative, I don't, when I see other creatives do it and step beyond the lens, it doesn't always mesh well for me. I think you have to have the right personality to, and kind of like weight, gravitas, if you will, to step back and forth. So in this case, in the case of the Star Wars community and whomever may happen upon this conversation, cheers, by the way. I hope you're enjoying some Bing. Um, yeah, I think CUjO Fett, from now until I run out of pixel art, will be an invitation to folks to go deep cut on the best design character in fiction. Hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Uh, yeah, I can back those words up. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to hop on tonight, and just do a casual chat. Uh, let's pull this up. Let's take a second here. 12 minutes. 12 minutes of CUjO Fett. I talked about the spin move, the Renaissance man, gone from best ship, best armor, best weapons to got to use your hands, got to put your hands in the dirt. Um, and you know what? For all the sandbagging that I've heard about the book of Boba Fett, he starts his animated journey riding a dinosaur, and this is turned over. This isn't a revelation. He ends it riding a Rancor. How dope is that? Hmm. I don't think I need any more to Fett, but I would also like to talk sometime about what Star Wars projects would hit now. Hmm. I mean, have we spent the OT, the Clone Wars? Honestly, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. There's characters in the Clone Wars that will never be revisited, that I could see again. Dirge is one. We never saw him beyond the Clone Wars animation. I don't believe so. Uh, and there's a lots of. I'll drop three characters that I could see more of, and eras and situations I'm not tired of right now. Um, I'll close with that. So I think if somebody were to say, CUjO Fett, there's a lot of folks that are unhappy with the journey of the characters, etc. What would you do? What would you do to avoid stepping on toes, to create new veins of intrigue? Here's one. Here's one. I don't even have a slide for it, but Bane Malar. Real ones know. He was in the original cut of Return of the Jedi. He's one of Jabba Hutt's henchmen / lackeys, but he's got a suit and he's got a helmet. He's got the bubble helmet. There's a shot of him. He's not on the film, I don't believe. And the story goes like this: a parole officer. That's what he's doing at Jabba's palace. Uh, he's brought back somebody. Of course, he's going to hang around. He's got a vice. He's addicted to spice. It's canonical. I think it's. I don't know if a fan wrote that, but he is addicted to spice, which, by the way, makes him force sensitive. Much like long hair gives people extrasensory perception and awareness. It's true. Um, when Luke Skywalker shows up, it gives him a migraine. That's how strong the Force hits him. He's out. He's out. He never made it to the barge. He dipped out. I think there is some lore beyond that, but I always saw him as anonymous, kind of like the Mandalorian. Let's not go under the bubble. Let's be ambiguous. Let's leave them blank. Let's get a good synthwave soundtrack in there. He's tracking bounties across the galaxy's best sunsets. Why not get a Miami Vice feel? You're like, oh, CUjO, that's not thematic with Star Wars. And you're like, well, they're not trying to do that at Disney. Disney's not creating a story. They're creating genres with a property. That's what throws everybody, because everybody thinks it's one tale, but it's not. And the sooner you come to peace with that, then you can kind of look at people's projects and go, oh, okay, this is where this person is coming from. I can respect that. Or, you know what? Those people are out of pocket and I'm out. But I think Bane Malar, look him up. He made one figure. He got one figure, and I do have it. It's in storage. You hate to hear it. Second character. What about Crimson Corsair? I mentioned this one to Daniel, who is actually headed to New York Comic Con. And let's chat after that, brother. Crimson Corsair, new trilogy. So new trilogy folks have no excuse not to know this person. He's in the first movie, The Awakens. He's in the Pine Fresh Cantina, and he talks to Finn for a second. I think he did get a standalone, but for me to really feel that character, the artist has to be on point with that helmet and show me something I haven't seen, gunslinger-wise. I'll pick that up. It's one I haven't read. Crimson Corsair, I think, would be an interesting look. And third and final. I tend to like folks wearing masks. Let's see, who would I go third person for untapped Star Wars project? I've heard people talk about Mara Jade. It's too close. It's too close to the Skywalkers. We've seen enough. What about Arden Lynn? People clown Masters of the Terrascasi, but she had weight. She had a robot arm. That's interesting. You can do with that. And who else? You know what? I'll stay. A lot of people are not fans of the final Star Wars movie. Why am I blanking on these names, guys? Yeah, the final Star Wars movie. Have you ever looked at the concept art for the character Zora Bliss? It's the bounty hunter that they are friendly with. I think she has a past with the pilot. What's his name? Killing me with the names. This is why I need a co-host. If you catch this in post, I am looking. Turn up, know the names. I'll handle themes. You handle names. But no, the Zora Bliss's concept art, she has like these Star Wars Doberman pinchers that are with her. She looks way more edgy, way more interesting. Zora Bliss is a character I could have seen a lot more of. I think she had guns on her hips, didn't she? There's my three. Bane Malar, synthwave Miami Vice chase scenes. Got Zora Bliss with her Dobermans in the spice trade. That could work. Yeah, I think those are. Look at that, we're almost at 20 minutes. Those are all compelling picks, guys. I don't know. I don't know what lies ahead for Star Wars and where it'll go. But I think it's definitely an age where, you put your voice out, put it out responsibly, and maybe it'll come back to you. I would love to be a part of the Star Wars conversation. Of course, everybody would, but no, I think what people are saying Star Wars. Yeah, maybe. But it's a great time for a comeback. CUjO Fett is that conversation. You know, if you're a indie creative and network is not around, CUjO Fett's here for you. If you're a world-renowned actor who just wants to turn up at a small cantina with a couple friends, CUjO Fett's here for you. No. It's a live stream I hope to build as I go, and just kind of chat with folks that enjoy Star Wars and Boba Fett. So I should have more to wrap up with, but I will wrap up like this. Thank you all for joining. I know there's plenty other stuff to watch, but CUjO Fett is here for you as well. Hit me up anytime. I'd love to chat here on the Semi-Weekly. And
final round. Fight.
One last thing. Yeah, if you're an artist, I always need pixel thumbnails. If you're doing pixel art exclusively, yeah, send me some Fets, and I would love to commission some for thumbnails in the future. Thank you, folks, again, and catch you next week.